right? We have completed. Last week we have completed hardware troubleshooting, right? So today uh, we start software troubleshooting, right? Now you all know, right? If you take computer, right? Basically we need three things, right? To um, right? Basically we need three things to operate a computer. So what are the three things, right? So what?
Hardware, software.
Okay, fine. So hardware, software, and what's the other filler? That's nothing but what's LW? That's liveware, right? We need some livewares or the computer operators, right? So someone can argue without liveware also now computers are operating, so that's something else, right? So basically we need to fulfill these three fillers to have to make computer to be operated in correct manner, right? So basically what I mean by hardware, that's nothing but the physical components of a computer, right? Physical components, that's basically um, uh, the devices, input, output, storage, whatever the devices which we can touch and feel, right? The other thing, software is nothing but the applications, right? Can you touch and feel the softwares? No, right? Basically,
No.
yeah, we need software to communicate between hardware, and actually basically software will ensure, right, that the all the hardwares are connected, right? We can make use of the hardware. Basically as example, right? So you just connected some input device to your computer, right? So this is your system unit and this is your display, and we have connected keyboard, right, to the system unit. So now it's connected, but can we make use of this keyboard or do something? No, right? For that you need some sort of programs, application programs. We call application programs. It can be an operating system. It's a type of software, right? So basically, operating system provides the interface to manage the um, compute activities, right? So basically it's an interface between user and the hardware. Who is the user? It's compute, nothing but computer operator, right? And these are hardware. So the operating system comes. Actually, it's a type of software. It resides inside the system unit, right? They are in the hard disk maybe, right? So operating system will come into picture, and it will be the gap between the user and the hardware, right? So without the operating system, it's a type of software, right? So we can't make use the hardware components, right? So operating system is, it's an essential part, right? So anyway, it's a type of software. Software basically we can divide into two parts: the operating system software and the application application software. Operating system software and the application software, right? Basically two parts. So application software, the operating system, you know, that's a Basically, that's the interface between user and hardware, right? Right. The application. So what's application software? It's nothing but the computer programs, right? So various types of programs we can see, right, to get some work done, right? So as example, you want to draw a picture in the computer. So you need sort of application software to fulfill that task, right? Just because you have hardware and the operating system, you can't fulfill that kind of requirement, right? Today's operating systems, right, like Windows, bundled with some sort of application software. Then putala hita hai sometimes, right, you might think, so just after you install Windows 10 or 11, we can draw, because Windows Paint, MS Paint software is embedded, right? It comes with the operating system. No, 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 that's different, right? So the operating system vendors, they bundled some solution. So it's a marketing tool. They can sell their product, right? So conveniently, instead going for another purchase, right? So you want to draw software, right? You might need to purchase Adobe software, Adobe Photoshop or something, right? But operating system itself provides some basic utilities. Kutala, I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, right, fine, right? So if you take Windows second or 11 operating system, which I am using currently, right? It contains operating system components as well as some application softwares. As example, so operating system will keep aside, right? It's a system software which need to manage the hardware, right? Application software, a notepad, right? Or Windows media player, right? Maybe movie maker, uh, some uh, default applications like Paint, right? Paint, MS Paint, Microsoft.
Sir,
Yes, Kuta.
sir, video is blurry. I can't see properly.
Mm,
The video is getting stuck, sir.
others? Manladua? Can you see my
Yes, sir.
image? You can, right?
No, sir. मैं पिक्चर तस्वीर बनाना तो जे मैं white board देखा පැහැදිලි නෑ sir.
Okay. What about now, Hibabuta?
Uh, so it's still a little stuck.
Still you have that problem, right? So I got the message saying the bandwidth is getting low. Let me connect to you stay in the call, right? So I will switch the network.
Okay.
Is it improved, Hibabuta?
Now, okay, so I can see.
You can see, right? Manuladu, even you can see the screen now, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Good. Right? So we were talking about the software side, right? Uh, so Windows, so I was telling like Windows 10, Windows 11, that's our operating system today, right? Most popular operating systems, right? So basically, right? So some applications, right? Some programs like Notepad, right? A movie maker, or maybe Windows Media Player, right? Or maybe Paint, right? So those are some tools or applications, right? Or programs comes together with the operating system, right? Comes together, right? So if you purchase Windows 10 or 11, right? So basically you
Excuse me,
will
sir.
get, yeah, Pita.
Sir, इवागेन आपको होटल पे एमएन अप्रूवियन.
What about Hebabuta?
Can see the screen, sir.
Then Manulladua just uh, your internet connecting problem, right? So just try drop again and just reconnect.
Okay.
These kind of things happen Putala because heavy the condition is not good, no, right? Those are problems, right? Uh, right. So either from my end, either from your end, so it can happen, right? So we need to sort out the problems then and there, right? Is it improved, Manuladu?
Okay.
Right. So make sure that you are in good signal reception area, right? So, right. Windows 10. So don't worry about the board. At least listen, right? You can hear now. So Windows operating system, right? So basically it bundles some utilities, right? Those are application softwares, right? It's not actually it's not those are not part of the operating system, right? Operating system basically what it does, it creates the interface between the user and the hardware, right? It, in simple terms, right, it allows user to operate the keyboard, right? Use the keyboard and do some work. It allows, right? Operating system, it will create that space, right? So the application operate, that is operating system software, right? So the other one, application systems, application software, right? Application software, the programs which we use to do various types of work, maybe word processing. So if you want to draft some letter, right? Maybe you want to create presentation, you can use presentation software like Microsoft PowerPoint, right? Maybe you want to create some uh, I mean you need to do some graphics design, right? You can use uh, Adobe Photoshop, right? Likewise, right? There are so many softwares, right? Photo editors, those are called photo editor, image editors, right? And if you want to edit some movies, right, you want to make some nice videos, applications like Adobe Premiere or Canva Pro, so much of utilities, right? Windows Movie Maker, so you can cut and chop and, right, so you can mix, you can bring some effects, right? You can create nice videos, right? So that's a application software, right? So uh, now the live where it's a different part, so it's a computer operator, right? So we need basically these three pillars to do a computer task, right? Otherwise it's very impossible. You can understand only with hardware, you can't work. Only with software and hardware, still you can't work. So you need an operator as well, right? Right? So here, so today, so we discuss about the problems related to hardware. So basically, right? So some problems, maybe a display is not coming up, or maybe keyboard is not working, maybe mouse is not working, maybe computer won't boot up, right? So those are related to, straight away we can identify those are related to hardware problems. Computer won't boot up means you can't do anything with the operating systems, right? First it need to boot up and bring it to the desktop where you can start the works, right? if, if it doesn't boot up, right, so basically it's a hardware problem. So you can straight away conclude that, right? So it's a hardware problem. But there are some problems, right? You can't straight away identify whether it's a hardware problem or the software problem, right? So first, right, we'll take some easy problems, right? Easy problems where we can straight away we can decide whether it's a hardware problem. So you learn so much of hardware problems, right? Software problems, right? Two types of softwares now: operating system software and the application system software. Application software, right? Not system, sorry. Application software, right? So you may get two types of problems. First one related to operating system, so it can be operating system problem, right? Can be a application software problem. So two types of problems, right? So basically today will, so what type of problem can happen with the liveware, right? Maybe unskilled operator, right? Without proper knowledge or experience person, right? About the computers, right? Trying to operate the computer, so much of problems can happen because it's not a skilled worker, right? Skilled operator. So much of things can happen, right? So many mistakes can happen. Maybe some you might get damaged, right? So to the application software, right? So these kind of things. So live also got some problems, right? Uh, so for the moment, we'll skip this one, liveware and hardware we already completed. So come to software, right? Basically software problems, right? We can divide into the operating system related problems, right? Application related problems, right? Application related problems, right? So what are the applications of that? Now I told you, right? Some sort of applications or word processing software. As example, Microsoft Word, right? So it comes from the organization called Microsoft. It's a very feature rich, right? Feature rich word processing tool. So you can do so much of work, right? Mm, right. As example, you can type text, right? You can do some designings, maybe word arts you can apply. So some text you can underline, you can make it bold, right? Bold color, or maybe you can change the font. So right, so you want to put some fonts like these kind of fonts, right? So right, so font face vectors, right? You can increase the size of the font, right? Maybe you can change the color, right? So those kind of things, right? The word processing software. Even you can, right? It's a very feature-rich utility. Even you can, let's say you have a class with 50 students, right? So your teacher needs to send some uh, letters, right? Letters to you all, right? So what she has to do, or she or he has to do, right? Write the addresses, take some envelopes, write write the address, right? Maybe if you have 50 students, you need to repeat this task 50 times, right? So instead, right, Microsoft Word uh, comes with a feature called mail merge, right? First, you can create the list of your students, name, address. You can create in the computer, and right, with the mail merge feature, you can ask, right, to uh, get the address of each and every student separately. So you can print it on the envelope, or maybe she wants to customize the letter, so it's different, right? So you can first add the information about yourself, your marks or your address, everything. And so this particular number one student, you need to write draft one letter, right? For the student number two, you need separate details. So likewise, you need to create so much of details. So we'll discuss those kind of things in the word processing application, the third one, right? So these kind of things. So that those are called word processing software, right? And the spreadsheets. Basically, we can do some maths, right? So it's a sort of you can see rows and columns. The interface comes as a rows and columns, right? So you can put some values here. You can do mathematics like adding the values, or maybe you can issue some commands to multiply the values. Maybe you can refer these cells, add these cells together and put it here. Those kind of things, right? So these are very small things, right? You can do millions of things with the Microsoft Excel. Thus, that's called word processing software. Sorry, spreadsheet software, right? And web browser. So, so any web browser. Tell me any web browser you know, right? Web browser softwares. Why we need web browsers? So name itself says web. Right? What's web? That's nothing but internet, right? World Wide Web, we say, right? It's the internet. So using web browser software, we can, so as example, you want to browse YouTube, right? So you say www.youtube.com and enter. So you will get YouTube videos, right? The type of application uh, it's called web browser, right? Web browser software. So we have different web browsers. IE, that's Internet Explorer, Edge, That's these two from Microsoft, and we got Chrome, that's from Google. It's a company, right? And we got Firefox, Firefox, right? It's from Mozilla, right?
Yeah.
Firefox. Yes, Puta.
Isn't Google Chrome a software?
Google Chrome.
Yeah,
It's a
software.
yes. Google Chrome is a software, right? Why we use Google Chrome to browse the internet, right? It's a software,
Oh,
right? All these are softwares, Puta, right? So now we are using Google Meet. So our class, right? We conduct over Google Meet. It's a video conferencing software, right? So you have hundreds of softwares installed in your computer or the mobile phone, right? Even if you take your mobile phone, right? So there are so much of applications like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, right? What else? Chrome. So some entertainment softwares, video cutters, right? So much of utilities, camera applications, Snapchat, right? You name it, right? There are so much of utilities, but the behind you use Android software. Why? That's the operating system, right? So if you take mobile phone, right? So mobile phone, take mobile phone as example. Look at here, right? So if this is your mobile phone, right? So first layer, this is your hardware, right? Maybe you Samsung or Apple or whatever, Huawei or Oppo, whatever the phone, right? So your operating system, Android or iOS, that is from Apple, this is from Google, right? So on top of this layer, only one, right? iOS or Android. On top of this, right, you place some applications, YouTube, Chrome, TikTok, Facebook, so you name it. Hundreds of applications. You can see the icons, right? Snapchat, um, video cutters, right? Uh, ChatGPT, right? Banking applications, lot of applications, right? You get hundreds of applications. From where you get these applications? Through the Play Store, right? So the company itself provides some application where you can download and use, right? So video players, so much of applications, right? So those are called softwares, right? Even computer is same, right? So base behind underline if you get Windows 10 or Windows 11 operating system like this Windows, and on top of that you can install Chrome or likewise, right? Presentation software, application software, I mean word processing software, spreadsheet software. So much of software. So the bottom layer is operating system. That's also application. That's all the systems or type of software, right? So it's a special type of software, right? These are application softwares where we can use to get some work, right? But application softwares cannot work without operating system. So they need they right without operating system they cannot even start it or cannot even install it. You can't place it. So you need this space to put the software first operating system, right? Hibabuka, is it clear now?
yes, sir.
Right. So keep that in mind, right? Operating system is the base. Without operating system, you can't make use any computer related or the mobile phone or computer or tablet or whatever thing, right? So the base is operating system. Hardware on top of that operating system. Then on top of operating system, you can install softwares, right? So you have to remember that. That's very important thing, right? So you need to remember, right? So we're talking about the internet software. So that is one of the software here, Chrome, right? Uh, uh, right, Chrome. Chrome may be placed here. So that's a type of application software, right? Then um, image editing software, maybe MS Paint, maybe Photoshop, right? Paint, right? MS Paint. So you can edit some images. You can color it up. You can change the colors. You can put shadows, right? You can add so much of things, right? So those are the applications. Now you are very clear with. You should be right clear with the operating system and the application software. Now with that, keeping that in mind, right? We'll come to the troubleshootings. Now you before the troubleshooting, you should be very clear about the software types, software and the operating system and the hardware, right? So I hope you have that understanding, right? Right. So let's draw this again to clear, right? So you can make notes, right? So I'm not going to give you separate notes, but because your your textbook has all the notes you can read. So with this understanding you can read, right? So don't wait until you get the exams, right? So now itself you start studying, right? Then you can understand, right? So I'm discussing the page number 28, right? Now this is a hardware. So we install operating system, right? Operating system, that's let's say Windows 10, right? That's our operating system, right? Now operating system layer is done. So on top of that, we install applications. Let's say Microsoft Word. This application software, right? What are the things can happen with this? It does not open. Very common issue, right? So word icon is there, you double click it, you try to enter, so the application won't come up, won't start. It won't start, right? So it should open and provide the space to work, no? So it won't come up, right? Um that is one thing. So it won't come up at all. That's one problem, right? First problem, it won't come up at all. Second problem, once you double click, it came up, but there's no response. It won't accept any typings or whatever. It won't accept. Just like it's like just got stuck. Like it hangs, right? So, right. So some sort of problem is going on, but we can't identify what type of problem it is. But still, it's a problem with the application software, right? Um, Inability to see the interface. So it opens, but nothing is there, right? So first thing, it does not open at all. Second thing, it opens, but no response, right? Third one, open, but no interface. Interface is a term we use to um, um, in computer language. It's a sort of uh, the appearance or the place where we can make use the utility, right? So the interface, right? Um, so if you say Google Meet interface, so you can mute your, this is the interface, right? So you can see the screen now. This is the interface. That's called interface, right? So you have options to select, like you can mute the mic, or you can switch off the, you switch on the camcorder. You can raise hand. Those are all those utilities, the options placed on the interface, right? That's a interface, right? The appearance, right? Um, And usually once you double click, right, this interface come up in 5 seconds. 1 2 3 4 5 came up. So that's the normal behavior, right? But so this time you're waiting like 1 minute or 2 minutes, still it did not come up. So can be a problem inside something, right? So um, um takes long time open or does not open at all. So that is this issue. So it takes so long, right? Takes so long to open. It's very unusual behavior, right? So that was a problem, right? Uh, does not respond to the user command. You're trying to save. You've done something, but you're trying to save. It's not saving. So maybe it's it does not respond, right? The user commands. You're trying to issue a command or trying to get the print out, but it does not respond. So nothing comes out from the printer, right? Sometimes it says, I've sent to the printer, right? You got the command saying all the things submitted to the printer, but it won't come still, right? So those are complicated problems, right? So sometimes it's complicated problem because hardware and software. So some problems, right, can occur with. I mean, you can't identify whether it's a software problem or hardware problems, right? Together, some problems come, right? So some problems come up in hardware or software layer, both, right? So you send the printout, it won't come up, come from the printer. So that can be a printer problem or maybe the connectivity problem. So you can't straight away say that it's a word of the software problem, right? So last you should remember the last lesson. So we need to check the cables, USB cables, with make sure your printer is switched on, get the power, right? Those kind of things you have to ensure, right? So you can safely ignore the software side, right? It might be a hardware problem, but everything is perfectly placed, connected, everything is okay, but when you send the printout it's not coming out, right? So that can be a software problem. You need to assume, right? So you should think. So I'm giving some sort of experience, right? So next time when you think, you should think in that way, right? Don't stick into anything. Computer, so I told you, no, it's a very complex, complicated machinery, right? So anything can go wrong at any time, right? So if you are a good computer person, right? So you should think, right? Throughout the I mean 360 degree you have to think. So what kind of thing can happen? So make use of all the knowledge you have, right? So hardware, software, maybe both are not working properly. So that time you can get some problems, right? So indicates the incorrect function. So you're trying to get the printout, it says something wrong. So it indicates. So it will issue some error numbers or some sort of information it will throw, but you cannot understand. So that's also a bug or the software issue with the software, right? So those kind of things, right? So they have given 1 2 3 4 5 6 problems, right? Those are the very common types of problems, right? So anyway, it covers almost all the most of the types, right? So most of the problems it covers. So you will get these kind of indication, right? Software won't open but not respond, open but no information, right? Takes long time to open, does not respond to your commands, right? We need to provide data and instructions, right? So it won't accept your instructions, right? maybe it's not, it incorrectly function, indicates some sort of error messages, right? So you need to, if you are an experienced person, right, so you can read some, so it will, now most of the operating systems that actually um, uh, pops up some error messages with human understandable language, so we can understand at least some sort of clue it will give, right? As an example, your printer is not connected, operating system throws the error saying printer is offline. Offline means it's not connected, it's not live, it's not alive, right? So the operating system cannot understand, can't identify the printer whether it's connected or not. So that kind of messages it will throw, right? So for your easy diagnosing, right? So you can easily think, so it will direct, right? It will direct you. So check in this way. It's not. It's offline. Maybe USB cable not connected properly, or maybe it's not power on properly. So those kind of things. Even it can talk to hardware and say your black cartridge in cartridge is out of ink, or maybe paper jam, or maybe your printer is out of the paper, out of papers. So those kind of information it can throw back, right? So make use of all these informations, right? That is one thing. So there are types of problems. So here they have given 6 types of problems, right? Right. So what are the solutions they propose, right? uh, right, the solutions. So what are the solutions, we'll see, right? Simplest solution is to close the application, right? So now it's not responding, the application won't respond. Here we got minimize, maximize, and close buttons, red color close button right here. Windows, actually we got 3 dialog, with any dialog box, you basically you can see close, maximize and minimize icons, right? So you open the application, there's no response. What you can do, the easiest way, you just press this button, cross button, close the application completely, reopen. Try to reopen, right? Your problem might get sorted with that solution. Simplest way, right? Close the application and reopen. Try to reopen it, right? So still it did not work. So what you can do, right? So go to the solution 2. Find out the software is compatible with the specification of the computer and with installed operating system, right? Software compatibility is a feature of software component or system which allows to function together. A software which is compatible with one computer environment may not be compatible to another, right? For instance, some software that are compatible with Windows operating system do not work with Mac operating system. Therefore, check whether the software is compatible with the computer's operating system. Software is compatible, go to the next step side. So they are proposing us. So the first solution they have given, like close the software and try to reopen it, right? So if it does not work, so go to the next level. What is that? Check the compatibility of the software, right? So here we basically talking about the Windows operating system, right? So you need to install applications which are compatible with Windows, right? You can't put the applications which are compatible with Mac operating system. So Mac is a type of operating system, right? So tell me another type of operating system, common type. So Windows from Microsoft, Mac from Apple, and tell me another operating system. So we already completed, no? Mahesh Puta, Hiba Puta, Manuladu, tell me type of operating system. Hmm, very bad. So you don't remember operating systems. So what are the other operating systems? What is this?
Linux.
Hmm. Microsoft DOS, disk operating system, Linux operating system, Ubuntu, Unix. There are plenty of operating systems available, right? Why Windows is so popular? It's very user friendly, right? So much of applications are compatible with Windows, right?
Apple
Very
iOS.
user. Yes, that's a mobile operating system, right? So Apple, that's a company name, APPLE, right? So they
And
provide Mac OS for computers, their computers, and iOS for their mobile devices, right? So
and
even you get Chromebooks. Chromebook you get from Google. This is a type of computer, right? Comes with the Google operating system, the Chromebook, the operating system, right? Uh, so much of operating systems, right? So applications, Putala, right? You need to select the application according to your operating system, right? Let's say Microsoft Word, right? Microsoft Word is totally compatible with Windows, right? It's compatible with Windows. Why? Windows also from Microsoft, right? Microsoft MS Word also from Microsoft. So they make the compatibility. But if you want to install MS Word on Mac computer, you need to purchase a Mac compatible Microsoft Word. So the regular one, Windows one, does not work here. You can't open it, throws an error, right? So here you need to get the appropriate version of the application, right? So when you are downloading or when you are purchasing, you need to make sure that application runs on your computer. For that, you should understand what your computer is, what the operating system is, right? The compatibility highly matters, right? So some students, right? Sometimes they call me, right? This game is not working. This that game is not working. That application is so they have taken, they have purchased, right, incompatible version of the software with your operating system, right? So make sure you purchase the software or download the software according to your operating system, right? If your operating system is Windows, you need to download Windows operating system, right? So that is you need to download Windows compatible application solution software, right? So remember that, right? That's a solution too. So you check, okay, compatible is also okay now, right? Close and open, did not work. Check the compatibility. Yes, it's compatible on operating system Windows, so it is compatible with the Windows operating system. Solution number three, right? Check whether the software is licensed. Right. Further, check whether the trial period of software expired. Right. What is that? What is licensing or the trial period? Right. So most of the software vendors, right, they want to sell the software, right? Let's say your software is $10, right? $10, right? So you can straight away you can pay the amount and purchase the software. So you got nice utility where you can create some beautiful images, right? But it's $10, right? Beautiful images you can create. They give so much of utilities, right? So you can do some animations as well, but the software is $10, right? So the marketing purpose, they will give you some certain period to try this out. Okay, we'll give you 14 days trial. 14 days trial to try this out. So they will give all the application components, right? You can change the colors, right? You can animate, you can play some words, you can import the images, you can put sounds. So anything you can do. 14 days full trial they give. trial, only trial, right? So within that 14-day period, so they will allow you to do. So you are so interested with that software, right? But you're not going to pay this. So you don't want to pay this. So what will happen after 14 days? So the features will disabled. So otherwise it will throw you a message saying your license trial period is expired. You need to purchase and apply the licensing key. It's sort of a key combination. They will give like let's say 20 digit key A B C D E, right? X A B Y 6 M Q 378. Right, so it's a complex key or generated by them, right? So they generate and give like OF67D likewise. So some keys like this, right? So they will issue a key and it will throw you a interface to enter the key. So if you want to get this key, you need to pay the $10 and get this key from them. Maybe pay through a credit card or something, right? Afterwards, they will send you this key to enter. So it will again activate all the software. So you paid, right? So bad guys, what they're going to do, right? Instead paying, right? This is very bad behavior, Putala. So don't practice those kind of things. Those are called pirated softwares, right? Illegal softwares, right? They're going to crack this. So they do some magics and they override this one and make the solution works. Still, it's an effort of software, right? So there's some bad guys. So they have genius knowledge, even though they are bad, they have knowledge to crack these things. So without paying, they try to activate. There are ways, right? These are just for knowledge only, right? So we don't encourage. So can harm your computer application. So it's not ethical, it's not legal, right? So don't go with that. So pay their effort, right? You need to pay for their effort, right? They invented new thing. It's very user friendly, it's workable, and it's very useful to us. So make sure you pay that small amount and use the solution. So that's very good thing, right? Very good ethical thing, ethical practice, right? So anyway, that's a different part. So your trial period might expire, so you can't work. So that's a type of problem. So you need to understand whether this is in trial period or the trial period expired or you need licensing. So that's a solution 3, right? Solution 4. Try repair option application software. Restart the computer and reopen the application software. That's another uh, method, right? So everything okay so far, right? Everything okay, but still application does not respond. What you can do, you can there's an option comes with the solution called repair or fix. So it will try to with this option, actually if you execute this option, right, if you run this option, it will re-establish the binaries or the files to the computer, right, or it will get the solution to the original state, right, original state. It will try to bring all the software. So maybe the file has corrupted. So that's the cause of the problem. So what you can do, you can issue a command repair and it will place all the files, all the application files to the original state. So it can start working again. Because the original state, anyway, it's working. So you did something, file got corrupted, now software is not opening. What you can do, you can issue a repair command and try whether it's not working or not. Even you can restart your computer, do a reboot, quick reboot, right? Even today it happened to me. I was trying the bandwidth issue, right? The service providers issue. You complained me that you can't see the board properly. So I tried several methods. It was not, working correctly. I closed the application, I reopened it, but ultimately I went for the restart of my computer itself. So I went for the restart, but still the problem occurs, right? Then actually the computer was responding slow. That's why I went for the restart, right? Because so many applications were open at that time, right? After my office work, right? So I thought this might cause the issue, right? So I closed all the applications and rebooted as a fresh start. I have taken fresh start, but still the network speed was not good. So I kept that in mind because I knew that outside weather is not good. Maybe it's interrupting the signal reception. So I knew that, but first I wanted to uh, resolve the slowness issue. The application, all the applications were responding slow. So I went for a restart first, right? That's the way of diagnosing. Instead simply switching off my router and restart. So I went for the restart, refresh my computer. Now computer applications are all working fine, but I checked the speed of the connection. It was not good. I went for a router restart, right? Then everything came back. Then right, you're saying now it's okay. So I did so many things in the background to bring that state, right? So it was not easy thing, right? You need to check sequentially. You need to check these issues, right? The repair option. And the fifth one, uninstall the problematic software from the computer and reinstall some software. You will need to assistance from the teacher for the same fourth and five. Repair and uninstall. You need to get the assistance from teacher. They said, right? So uninstall, installing and uninstalling. Those are very common terminologies with computers and applications, right? Installing and uninstalling, right? Installing and uninstalling. Take these notes, right? Install. So install means you establish this application software on the operating system, installing, right? You are establishing, right? You're placing that application software, you are installing, you are setting up, right? So you need to set up. Maybe you download the application, you place here through a wizard, right? It will guide you to set up the application. This is your computer, this is operating system. On top of that, operating system provides that capability, right? Install in the software. So you can place the softwares, install. That's called installing, setting up, right? So establishing, right? Putting that software to the computer. That's the easiest word. But the proper terminology is installing. Install the application, right? Similarly, Ibabuta, what is uninstalling?
Uh, it's like deleting from the whole laptop.
Oh, no, 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 not whole laptop. It's like taking off this application software from the computer, right? Not deleting all software. I mean, the computer is not easy thing. You can't do it correct. If you try also, it won't allow sometimes, right? That's called formatting. That is different thing, right? Um, the application, because operating system also contains so much of files, it will never allow you to delete. Deleting something else, Putala. Deleting means you can just press the delete key and delete, remove it, right? But installing is properly setting up. So uninstalling is properly taking off. The proper way. Deleting is something you can do for your file, right? You created a file, it's not good, so you just press the delete key, it went off. That is not the way of setting application. We are talking about software. So setting up software is, right? So you need to follow a standard way, a proper way of putting that, right? So it starts talking to the operating system. Maybe it will understand the printer and everything, the devices connected. So it's a sort of procedure, right? So that procedure called installing the software. Install software. Uninstalling means you are taking off the properly taking off the application from the computer. Uninstall. So there's a place
Sir,
where you, yes, Puta.
if we delete like an app from the computer, the computer can still identify the app, or like if we delete normally without uninstalling it.
Hmm. The recommended way is go for uninstall. If it is application software, go to control panel. There's a place where you can uninstall the thing. But deleting means, right? You just press the delete button or right click delete and throw it away. But it, right? There are some leftovers. You can't manually clean up, right? So there are some connections between operating system. There are some entries created with operating system. So there are some bonds, right? If you simply delete this file, still these bonds will remain. You know, there are some bonds, right? You understand? There
Okay.
are bonds, right? When you are installing the software, it creates some bonds between other applications or the operating system, right?
Yes.
So it create bonds. If you simply delete, right, software, though the application goes off, but there are some leftovers, and especially these bonds will not remove, right? But if you go for uninstall, what will happen? It will
All remove.
it will properly remove all these entries, right? So nothing will left in your operating system, and these entries will properly removed, right? Because uninstall is a procedure. It will check one by one. Or you have to remove this entry, this entry, this entry. That uninstalling procedure knows about those things, but deleting it does not know. It will simply take it out, right? So make sure if it's a file type of image or music file, no, you can delete. That's not a problem. But those are not software, so those are files. But we're talking about software, see applications, right? So setting up applications called installing, uninstalling, right? So your application does not work here. So you do an uninstall, so it will properly remove the existing version which is non-working at the moment. You do a press install and check, right?
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right, right. So that is those are very important things to remember, right? Installing, uninstalling. So installing, uninstalling will come with the application softwares, not with the files. So you have image file to taken when you go to a trip or the picnic, right? So that you can delete. That's not a problem because there are no bonds with the operating system. It's just a storage, right? Just you are storing, right? But if you set up application, it creates so much of bonds with the operating systems. Properly you need to remove, otherwise these leftovers might slow down your computer, right? You might you maybe you cannot you could you will not be able to reinstall this application because of these bad entries, right? So many things, right? So installing, uninstalling, now it should clear, right? You should have a good understanding about that, right? So let's move into the now uninstall and reinstall is in a verb, right? Problem. The above problems of application software may be resolved easily. Sometimes such problem can occur due to viruses. Oh, virus attack. Virus attack. What's virus? Right? What's a human virus? So it will make us sick, right? The worst case we experienced, like COVID, it was a virus, viral flu, right? Uh, so it infect once infected, our all our body parts become sick, right? We feel sick and right, we feel very discomforts, right? Because of that, sometimes we need to get some medical treatment. So likewise, right? This application might got computer virus attack. So the operating system, I always draw like this because you should remember operating system. That's Windows, right? That's very important. On top of that, only we install software. So there's a software, it's not working. Why? Some bad application, the virus infected. I told some bonds, right, created with the operating system. Maybe because this virus damage some bonds. So we say there are few bonds. Some bonds due to this virus impact, some bonds got damaged. Just like you asked me, deleting. So it deleted some here and there some files. So some links are not properly connected with the operating system, so due to this virus impact. So with that reason, the application won't come up. Why? It's not properly established. First thing, we need to do what? Installing, uninstalling works. It might work, but if this guy, first we need to remove, eliminate this guy. Otherwise, next time also it can impact the same way. So you uninstall and you will reinstall it, right? But very next time you restart the computer, this virus can attack and remove that entries again. So first thing you need to do, eliminate this fellow through a antivirus software. That's a type of software again, antivirus. There are some software tools like Kaspersky antivirus, McAfee antivirus, Dr. Solomon, Norton antivirus, Defender, so much of brand names, right? So antivirus, place some antivirus software here. It's also a software again, like same behavior, right? And this guy takes care of your uh, applications, right? So there's a special type of software called antivirus. Antivirus. So this solution goes against the viruses. So if you try to put virus here to your computer, right? This fellow immediately comes up and attack that process. It won't allow you to put the virus in. So if you have properly installed antivirus solution, right? So most of the guys, because of the cost of this solution, we don't put antivirus solution. It's costly solution, yes, but it protects our data, right? It won't allow to damage anyone. So if you are browsing internet, right? If you are browsing internet, so you are exposed to so much of viruses, types of millions of types, right? Millions of viruses. It can come through the internet and damage your files, right? So I can't say all the types actually this antivirus can, but most of the files it can, most of the viruses it can defend, can fight against that, right? And protect your data. But let's say if you don't have antivirus, easily some virus can come and hit your files. So that is one thing, right? So that also a type of issue problem we can get. So in that case, try to eliminate the virus through a virus guard or the virus software and try to reinstall the application so it will work. Right. So here we are talking about application types of problems, right? So we have so we started late, right? So we take another 10 minutes to check other types of problems, right? 9 o'clock we'll stop the class. So until that, Manulladua, up to now is it clear? Maheshputa, Manulladua, you there? I know Hibaputa is listening, so he's answering my questions. Manulladua, you there? Mahesh Puta. So I'm doing my part. It's your responsibility to listen and learn, right? No one comes behind you, right? So it's your responsibility to complete the things, right? So I'm assisting you, I'm helping you to learn, right? It's your duty to learn, answer, ask questions, to answer my questions. So that's be interactive and learn, right? So anyway, Hibabut, are you there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So, so far, right, the software so divided into two: operating system software and the application, right? So far we discussed about the problems can occur with the application software. Even your operating system can get sick, right? So this is your hardware, this is operating system, right? This is your applications. One, two, app two, right? Likewise, right? App three. So far you are discussing about the problems with the applications, right? So even this fellow can get sick, right? So how to identify those kind of things, right? You can feel. So as I told you, right, my last issue, computer got slow, right? My computer was running very slow. That can be a operating system issue, can be a hardware issue, that's something else, but we can guess it's a sort of operating system is not functioning correctly, right? So slow in starting the computer. So when the computer starts, it takes so long time, right? So that can be a operating system related issue, because operating, so once the startup completes, I mean the power on self test completes through the ROM, right? It hands over the operation to the operating the startup procedure to the operating system, right? So once you switch on the computer, uh, it will execute some certain task and it will hand over to the operating system, right? Then operating system should bring up the computer to the workable environment. But that task, that activity takes so long, right? So long. So that's very unusual. So that can be a impact of operating system, right? It can be a issue with the operating system. Maybe you need to think of upgrading your software. Maybe some issues, right? You need to repair the operating system issues. There are ways, right? Or maybe you can try to fix the operating system issues, but can guess, right? Not being responsive to the user command due to slow processing. Exactly same thing I experienced, right? So I was trying to get some issue, some commands, but it was not responding. So I guess that the issue with the operating system. So that's the type of problem with the operating system, right? Displaying a blank desktop screen. Everything came up, but no icons. Very blank screen. We cannot do anything. It's blank. Taskbar does not appear. The icons doesn't appear. So that can be an operating system issue, because operating system should firmly get to the place where we can start our work, right? So until that, we can't do anything. Operating system should allow us to work. It should give the green light to go ahead. Now you can work with me, right? Until that, we have to wait and see, right? Some students or some people, right, trying to work before computer gets start, right? It won't allow. So let the operating system come and establish, then you can start the work. Manuladu, you there? Mahesh Puta. Right. Puta, you there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Okay, good. Right. uh, okay, you go ahead, right? So maybe they will ask the video recording. So don't depend on the recordings. So I personally I don't prefer video, issuing the video recordings, because now only you can learn, right? Okay. So operating system type of issues, right? We're discussing or display imbalance speed. So it can be a operating system issue. Now, slowness of from computer. Computer may slow down due to the several starting up applications programs due to smaller space in the hard disk. So resolve this problem, log into the administrator account and necessary. Your teacher will attend to the solving the problem. So don't worry about the statement, right? So all these things placed on the hard disk storage, right? Hard disk drive, applications or operating system, everything should place on the hard disk, right? So this is our hard disk, right? Maybe your hard disk is filled. You are done. You copied so much of movies to your hard disk, got filled, and there is a very limited space to other files like operating system and the applications. So this is not sufficient. You need to provide sufficient space to work this application properly, right? So the space is not enough. So you have given very limited storage. You filled up with all unwanted things, right? So what happened? The computer could not boot up. It was very slow. Why? The space was not enough. So maybe you need to free up the space, right? Or um, right, some applications maybe you need to uninstall. So you have installed a game which took so much of space, right? Install and install. You know now, right? You install a game. It took very high capacity here, right? That was the cause. So you identify the cause. You want to uninstall that one because you need to save the computer first before playing the game, right? So what you going to do? Uninstall it and the game. So you might need to get the administrator privileges. So you normal user account may not capable of uninstalling. So there are some rights we can security of the computer we can see, right. So the types of operator, types of accounts, admin account, administrator, user. These are the basic two types. User can work, administrator can do some sort of modifications, right, to the computer. So uh, we need to log into the computer with administrator account to delete these things. Maybe they uninstall these things. So regular user cannot uninstall. It, he or she can work only. That user can work only. But the administrator with the administrator privileges, you may able to do some modification, uninstalling or installing both, right? You should get the administrator privileges, right? So the solution they propose: close unnecessary application programs running startup. Right, starting up applications. What are the startup applications? When the computer boots up, some applications automatically starts. We set some applications to start automatically, right? Maybe antivirus software should start automatically come up, right? Otherwise, it can't automatically defend the viruses. We can't always go and start the antivirus, no. So we set it to automatic. So when the computer boots up, right? When the computer boots up, the antivirus solution will come and sit here. It protects like a security guard. And other applications like a microphone, some sort of startup application. Those are called startup applications. That's nothing but the applications which start with the operating system itself, right? So those are. So some applications might need to stop. The automatic start you need to set it manual, so we can speed up the computer because it takes time now to start the application. Also, we need to provide the time. So maybe you need to stop the startup applications, right? And remove unnecessary files from the hard disk. I told you to disk cleanup. Unnecessary files you can delete or clean up procedure. There's a utility called disk cleanup where you can remove the system files, right? These are bit of advanced things, right? Now you should know. In grade 8, right? And this cleanup tool to remove unnecessary things. Maybe these are unnecessary temporary things. You need to delete it to gain the space of your hard disk, right? So you can use a tool called disk cleanup, right? If the solutions fail, use repair option to operating system. Okay. Even operating systems come with the repair. Not only the application, operating system also provide the repair option. Here also, last time we discussed on repair. So application repair is different, operating system repair is different. So it fixes the operating system. I told you, no, it puts the original state, right? Eliminating all the bugs or the issues, right? You can make use the repair option. But to run those kind of things, you need the administrator privileges, right? In repair option 2 does not work, then reinstall the operating system. So nothing works, cannot do anything. What you have to do, format the computer with the help of the technician, or if you are a qualified person, you can do remove everything. Formatting removes, empties your hard disk. It will, you have to start from the beginning. So it's a blank hard disk. So first you need to place the operating system through a CD-ROM or the USB pen drive or some other procedure, right? You need to follow, right? Operating system put, then place the applications, your games, your applications. So again from the beginning you have to do. It's a bit of a task, right? That's called format computer hard disk and reinstall operating system. Reinstall operating system. So we are re-establishing the operating system, right? That's a way. I think it's 9:05, so we got a few more things to discuss, right? Hibaputa, shall we stop for the day,
Mm,
right? So we'll stop for the day, right? We got problem two and problem solution, problem two and solution two, problem three and solution three only. So next time we can finish off the uh, listen. So that's all about the hardware. Then we can start the word processing. That's a fresh one, and it's a very quickly we can within a day try to finish off. Then comes the programming. So that's the hard part, right? So don't worry about these things. Uh,
sir,
yes, Puta.
are we going to do papers?
When is your exam?
May 29.
Next week, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Uh, we'll do like this. Uh, when is your computer ICT exam? So you didn't get the timetables yet, right?
No, sir, we didn't get.
Right. So next week, that's 29th, right? So we meet up. So 27, 20. By 29th, definitely you won't get the ICT, right?
No, sir.
Right. So shall we discuss a paper then? 29th, shall we discuss paper?
Okay, sir.
Right. So next time, prepare with the paper. I mean, I will also. I have some questions. Right. We'll discuss. Right. Uh, so 2 hours will take and do a paper discussion then next time. Right. So
Okay.
remember me. Right. So we'll start the next week. we'll do a paper discussion. Then it will definitely help you to do the um, exams, right? So first two lessons you will get right, basically for the exams.
Yes, sir. Our teacher said for us there's only a monthly exam, so the teacher said
Mm-hmm.
only first lesson will come.
Okay, perfect. So that is actually about the number systems, right?
Yes, sir.
So you know number systems. Can you remember converting decimal to binary and binary to decimal?
Yes, sir.
That's all about, yeah. So we did so many examples, right? So you should be able to answer anyway. We'll discuss some questions, right? Again, we'll refresh the knowledge. Then we'll keep the next week for the paper discussions, right?
Okay.
Right. Okay. Then we'll stop for today. We'll meet up next time, right? Next Wednesday, right? Then good night, Putala.
Good night, sir. Good night, sir.
Okay.
God bless you.
Okay. God bless.
Sir, happy exam.
Manlad, you're telling something.
Happy result, sir.
Ah, thank you, Putala. Right.